This is Elvington airfield in Yorkshire, England. Opened in 1942, it was an operational bomber station during the Second World War. But for 2 days in September 2005, it became the venue for a motorcycle world record attempt. 35 riders from across the UK assembled to attempt the world's fastest wheelie, which currently stands at 140 miles an hour. An event such as this takes a huge amount of planning and preparation, and it's the brainchild of ex-world record holder Dave Rogers, better known as Dodge.
My world record was taken from me earlier on this year by an Australian chap called Matt. I'd already had the idea to redo the record for myself anyway, because I knew I could go beyond what we'd previously done. You look into these things and it costs thousands of pounds to lay up and set up, so I then opened it to all comers, and we've all paid an equal amount to be here, the competitors, to cover the cost, and I've just had the problem of organising it for them all, but I want to do it with them anyway, so it's a way of me trying to get my record back, if not setting my own personal best if somebody else takes the record from us, and we'll all hopefully have a bit of good fun, and fingers crossed, no accidents, touching some wood. There's going to be 2 records attempted during the 2 days. One of them's the kilometre wheelie, where you enter a measured kilometre already wheeling. You have to execute the wheelie non-stop for the kilometre, and the timing lights are at the end, and that's where the speed is measured. The other record is the out-and-out speed wheelie record, where there's no pre-measured distance to the wheelie. You just have to wheelie through the timing equipment. That is in excess of 200 miles an hour. So they do 190 to 200 miles an hour on 2 wheels and pull a humongous power wheelie with, some of these guys have got nearly 600 horsepower on tap. So they can lift the wheel at 200 miles an hour. The rest of us, the bulk of us, will be going for the balanced kilometre wheelie, which will be probably 50 miles an hour slower.
The riders have got to sign on because we've got a declaration here that they need to sign. Obviously, it's a dangerous sport, and so they need to sign this, to be aware of what they're doing and what can happen. You know, we don't want it to happen, obviously, but insurance covers all sorts of eventualities here, so we've got to make sure that all the riders know what they're doing, what they're taking on, and we've got contact numbers in case of emergencies, that sort of thing, and they know that. Some come from, got a guy coming from Europe, and several guys come over from Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, so it's quite a wide range, you know, Scotland, South Coast, all over.
At an event such as this, rider and spectator safety is paramount, and there are certain rules which must be obeyed, as Trevor Duckworth now explains at the morning briefing.
As of this meeting now, this runway is dead, no cars, bikes or anything on there apart from competitors. If you want to go to the viewing area, you'll go up the main runway at the edge. Always bear in mind that Elvington is a live airfield. So if anybody has a problem with an aeroplane, they need somewhere to park, they'll radio in and they'll come down and land. That is why you must stay at this side of the main runway, steady 30 or 40 miles an hour, whether you're a competitor or a spectator or a hanger-on or whatever you may be. Anyone seen doing anything other than 40 miles an hour on the edge of the main runway will be turfed off site.
For all of the riders, performing a wheelie is no problem, but today they would have to sustain it for over half a mile. So it was no surprise to see some rather apprehensive faces around the paddock. One man who is no stranger to riding on the back wheel is well-known stunt rider Gary Rothwell. He was attempting the outright world speed wheelie record on a turbocharged Hayabusa.
The bike is a bit of a monster, really. I sold mine, which was a turbo Hayabusa, a while back. That was 340 horsepower. And this one's actually being built by Big CC. Sean's actually let me use it, which is, I think he's a bit braver than me, really spending that much money and let someone else ride it. But it's a 591 horsepower turbo Hayabusa. I think it'll have round about 550ish, maybe reliable. They're saying they're going to start off today about 400 horsepower. It's still got an aftermarket Spondon swing arm, which is a little bit longer than standard. So we're just going to give it a couple of runs first and see if it's going to be obviously good enough for doing wheelies. But I think it might just be a bit long, so we're probably going to get too many wheel spins on it. If we do, we've got a shorter swing arm to throw in it and give it a go then.
It's clear that you need a fast machine to compete at this level, but that doesn't mean it needs to be highly tuned or heavily modified. For most, a standard production sports bike is perfectly adequate.
I've got a J6R K5, which is the fully fairing one, and a K3, which is done up with the straight bars, which is a bit easier for wheeling, with straight bars on.
It's more of a Hayabusa than it really looks, actually, because the bodywork's one-off, custom-made, so it doesn't resemble the original Hayabusa, but it's still the Hayabusa engine, frame, swinging arm, forks and so on. It's still Hayabusa engined, there's no turbo and no nitrous, but it's mildly tuned, but not on a par with these turbos and things, but pretty good compared with the original Hayabusa.
Bog standard Yamaha R1, 1999. All I've got is a race exhaust can on it, and the fairings were removed by Brands Hatch at high speed. Alright, cocked up, coming out of clearways, and so I've just stuck the rental handlebars on it, the motocross handlebars on it, which personally for me, I prefer it for wheeling with them bars on, so in a roundabout way it's been a good thing.
It's fair to say that most competitors were no more than very competent road riders, and most were using their own machines, apart from one who had actually borrowed a GSXR 1000 from a very trusting friend.
He's lent me his brand new bike that's been running on the Bulldog more or less, on the drag strip. He's decided that I'm in with a chance if I'm on the GSXR. Just a keen biker, he wants to see us have a good go at it, he wants to see us if we can do it.
Purely because he needed it. Basically, I know he can do it, and I'm trying not to think of the fact that he's going to throw it down the road. Simple as that.
And so it was time for battle to commence. With the marshals in place and the all-important timing equipment calibrated and set, the riders lined up to take their turn.
We're sending them down on the left. This is the practice area. We're sending them down on the left, they're cruising down on the left and they're wheeling back up on the right. This zone here, this black patch, is dead zone for them. There's a lot of traffic back into going out there. The lads are coming out and going down to the checkered flag, giving the number in, coming back, and this is the warm-up area for them to start the wheelie to go through on the back wheel. So it's a bit chaotic here where they're chopping and changing, you know. Guys are turning around, going in, coming out. We're just trying to keep a bit of common sense to it, basically.
With adrenaline levels high and conditions absolutely perfect, it was no surprise to see the existing world record broken several times in the first couple of hours. And by mid-morning, the new leader was Paul Vickers riding a Honda Fireblade.
Well, the first one was 137, then I did a 142, and I did a 144, so it's getting better. But, yeah, hopefully I'll get better than that.
And so the competition continued with more and more riders clocking up some very impressive times. Yes, it was competitive, but everyone seemed to be enjoying the day regardless of who was in the lead.
I live near Dodge and I seen it in motorcycle news, so I give him a ring and thought it's better than doing it on the road to getting caught by the cops.
It's gone fantastic, because when I started out this morning I was convinced to myself that I couldn't wheelie a kilometre. My first 3 runs I wheelied the full kilometre. My third run I wheelied 2 kilometres right the way down to the end of the runway, which just, it's absolutely made my day. And the guys at Cheshire Triumph told me that you won't do a kilometre on a Daytona, so...
Good, yeah, making the distance all right, just trying to get faster and faster. There's a few of us are quite close, sort of just over 140s, so yeah, we're trying to beat each other. Yeah, it'll be good. Be very competitive, really, yeah. Last one's 142.6, I think.
Good. I've done 4, bodged 1. My highest speed running in was 141 on my last one, so getting better. To be honest, we only turned up for a bit of fun, and it's see how it goes. Some of the boys here are so quick, you know, they've had a lot of practice in it, so plan is to walk out of it smiling and unscathed.
Okay, just getting settled in and have a Fireblade as well, which you normally do stuff with a skier down, and it's not quite quick enough for some of the runs, so I bought this bike during the week and hoping to do a bit better with this one.
Not too bad, I'm just trying to get used to the runway. I've been here before on the distance. I was having trouble trying to bring it up just in first gear and go through, so I'm now just bringing it up in second, and I'm just getting short of the kilometre. So because the wind's picking up, I've taken the fairing off now to try and see if that makes it a bit more stable.
143! Awesome! Magic! Put that on my bedroom wall.
Personal bests were being achieved, it seemed, every few minutes, but for Dodge, the man who'd brought it all together, the world record was slipping further and further from his grasp.
Want to take some chill pills tonight and go out with a fresh start in the morning. Because I was getting quite stressed before, because I'm not doing as I thought I would. I came here with the intention of getting into the 150s, and then once you've done it and you know you can do it, you can build on it. I can't get into the 100s. I've hit a brick wall at 148. I've done 248s, and one did feel faster than the other, but the timing tickets don't lie. So.
My slowest time felt the fastest.
Well, somebody's really moved the goalposts on with 156, so that's going to really take some doing. That's faster than I've ever achieved, so I don't know if I can match it or beat, let alone beat it. And nobody else seems to be even in the ballpark yet. Everyone else is in the 130s with me. So now I'm just practicing with different amounts of fuel in the tank, because that affects the balance, and also varying the starting point up and down the airfield. So as hopefully I reach me maximum right by the timing equipment, which I've done several times, but it wasn't my maximum.
So how was stunt rider Gary Rothwell faring on his turboed Hayabusa? Remember, he needed to exceed 200 miles an hour to beat the outright world speed wheelie record.
Yeah, we had a couple of just little runs up at the top, but you can't obviously get no speed up there. So the first pass on it then, and just trying to get up in third and fourth gear, it just span right through third. I shut off, back onto third, but by that time it span again, revved out, fourth gear, span, shut off, span, fifth gear, pulled it, but didn't obviously do a wheelie, so we just let a bit of air out the tyre. We're going to see how it goes on this run, but there's only a few of the bits and bobs you can do. We brought a smaller swing arm, but the actual standard swing arm doesn't hold air for the boost, so that's the last resort really, changing the swing arm. The only other thing we can do is obviously drop the forks a little bit more, lift the front up and maybe take the bodywork off, but it's pretty hard holding on at 190, 200 mile an hour with no bodywork, so hopefully see how this one goes, and if it goes well, carry on.
So not a great day at the office yet for Gary Rothwell, but things were going much better for Terry Calcott, who was now in the lead on his GSXR.
It's a GSXR 1000 K5. I've had it about 6-7 weeks now. Bog standard.
And how have you done today on it?
156.5 on the back wheel. I might try 5th gear next time.
What did you expect to get?
I hope to see it 160 if I can. Yeah, on the K1 on video I've done 166 on video. I've got a couple of them. So hopefully 160 mark would be nice.
What's it like? How scary is it?
It's a bit scary with a fairing. I didn't realise how different it would be. The K1 I've just tried without a fairing, and it's a lot easier. But just practice really.
Right, so you're at 156 at the moment.
On the
That's
K5,
gonna take some
yeah.
beating. And
Hopefully.
What's your plans now for the rest of today and tomorrow?
Try and beat that. I've just done 151 on the K1 and 147 on the K1, so it's a bit easier than the K5. K5 is a little bit flighty. There's no wind, so you know that's all it must be. Should do with a decent steering damper on it. Keep the front happy. But yeah, good crack, good fun.
And so as the afternoon wore on, there was an opportunity for some of the riders to relax and just take stock of what they'd achieved so far. And there was some encouraging news from Gary Rothwell about his turbo Hayabusa.
I missed the record.
Have you done it?
207.
Well done.
But not really.
Just try and replicate it tomorrow.
No, I
make
was
it
wheeling
real.
down, up and down, and I had it up in 5th for quite a while, and then I put it down, and as soon as we got to the speed trap, pulled it up, but it wheelied just after the first speed trap, and then way past it, but it was doing 207. And he said it was wheeling through it, but it just didn't click with the first one.
Just didn't quite
But
gel with the right
You need
position.
all them on there, don't you?
And so the banter continued and the riding continued. But nobody really threatened Terry Calcott's 156.5 miles an hour wheelie. Colin Tonkinson, however, from the Wirral Wheelie Boys decided to set his own personal record and do the full kilometre wheelie standing up on his Hayabusa. Well, tomorrow's another day and the riders would be hoping for the same perfect conditions. So what were the final thoughts on day one from Dodge?
Very good. I'm very relieved that we've had no accidents. Everybody who's turned up has turned out to be a competent rider. Some a little too competent for my liking, lying in 4th or 5th place or whatever it is. And Terry on his Gix 1000 is just in a different planet to the rest of us with 156 mile an hour. Can't get close. But it's the first day of 2 days, so hopefully a nice chilling session tonight and relaxation. Come out all fresh tomorrow, because I've tried everything I can think of today and it's not worked. You've got your own body's natural centre of gravity, and my centre of gravity seems to have my bike at a very high angle when I do my wheelies, and the high angle doesn't complement high speed. The faster lads are going down, 10 degrees lower than I am, so I need to reteach myself to get it lower with more speed and power on, to hopefully find this extra 10 miles an hour or so from somewhere. It's easily said, but not very easily done. It's taken me all day to go. My first one was 130 and my best is 148. So I've added 18 miles throughout the day, miles per hour. But I've got to find another 10 on top of that tomorrow. And I wouldn't bet on myself. I'd have a tenner on Terry.
As day 2 dawned, the tented Elvington village awoke to another dry and clear morning. For many riders and their supporters, the main focus was on the breakfast menu. After all, energy levels would need to be high if they were to come anywhere near Terry Calcott's new 156.5 miles an hour record. Others were more interested in the list of the previous day's runs, pinned to the side of Dodge's caravan. After yet another short safety briefing, the stage was set for the riders to begin their runs. So what were their thoughts on the previous day, and more importantly, what were their plans for this, the final day?
Yesterday was way beyond what I expected. We've got 10 riders beaten the record that we came with yesterday. So to have 10 riders beyond the world record is fantastic. If we can try and better that again today, awesome. We've got a very, very high standard of rider. All I can do is try a little bit harder today than yesterday. I'm going to try a few different techniques, varying the amount of fuel in the tank, because the amount of fuel in the tank can alter the angle of lean during the wheelie, which has an effect on your overall top speed, because the lower you can hold the wheelie, in theory, the quicker you can travel through the air. when you're doing a very high wheelie at balance point, the rate of acceleration is much, much slower than if you're sort of 15 degrees lower, cutting through the air with your nose rather than the undercarriage of the bike. So just an experimentation, because I'm not as high up that field as I wanted to be. My target for yesterday was 150 miles an hour. I did 148, so fairly happy. But I didn't expect to be in 6th place, having added 8 miles an hour to yesterday's world record. That is quite an achievement. And then hopefully if Gary gets the big CC turbo booster all sorted, he's going to see the wrong side of 200 miles an hour through the speed limits for the out-and-out power wheelie record. And let's hope the weather stays like this and the wind drops a little bit.
Thought on yesterday it was a good day. Everyone seems to enjoy themselves, and the record got broken quite early on. My goal for today really is just try and beat the existing record, which was 140. I'm doing 129 at the moment. Took the fairing off the bike and it's handling a lot better. I was going to take my second bike out today, but I don't feel as comfortable on that one, so I'll be happy just to beat the old record.
The day was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed it. To be quite truthful, just to do the kilometre was really good for me. The speeds I got, the fastest one I got was 120.5 on the K3, which was the stunt bike with the straight bars. Hopefully I can do a lot faster on the K5, but I forgot the keys. Left the keys in the hotel room yesterday, so you never know, it might have been an omen that. So I've got the keys today, so I'll have to go on the K5. It's just whether I can get it for the full kilometre. If I can, I'm sure it'll be faster than 120, so I'll have a good go today. But yesterday, recapping on yesterday, it was fantastic. And it's just really nice the way, if you need help with your bikes, you can just ask anyone. Everyone's really kind and helpful, so it was really good, really good. A bit nervous today, but once I get out, I should be okay.
I was learning to wheelie all over again. I was having a very bad day, nothing went right. We killed the best bike. We've got the fire blade left, all stripped down. And after a couple of hours, it went well.
Yesterday went well as better than I hoped, because as I was saying, I'd like to have hit 145, which didn't come about. I managed to get 142. But then the old bike there, it's I think the weight's slightly too far back in the bike, so I may start experimenting a little bit later on today to put a bit of ballast over the front to hold the weight down, so I can actually drive through the wheelie, as opposed to it's kind of just running out of steam. But yeah, I'm happy. The bike's done well. It's about 7 years old now, so it's probably getting a bit tired anyway. And it's a good building block for next year. I think. And the standard of riding's been excellent. I mean, the record at the moment is standing at 156. I've hit 142, and that puts me in 10th position. So, 14 mile an hour in between the top 10 competitors is standard of riding is absolutely superb. If I can nudge to me 145, I'll be over the moon. Change of plan. 150 can do one now. I'm not going to achieve it. 145 will be good.
Yeah, thoughts on yesterday. I'd like to, obviously, for the record to still be, standing today, but I think I'll just try go out and make a quicker run. Just try and hit the 160. Put it a bit more out of the reach would be nice, wouldn't it?
Back in 1996, there was a World Wheelie competition in the Isle of Man, and I decided to take part in it. So it was a high-speed wheelie record that time, over 80 feet, and the record at the time was 150 miles an hour. And I managed to do 126 miles an hour. So my bike wasn't powerful enough on the day, so since then I bought a turbocharged bike, which I brought this weekend, but has now blown up. I blew a head gasket yesterday. So I'm now going to ride a GSX R1000 and give that a go. On yesterday's runs, I've managed 129.7 miles an hour for the kilometre. So the record has now been broken by another guy, so it's standing at 156 miles an hour, so I'm hoping to improve now on my 130 miles an hour. So that's it.
Yesterday went well. It was pretty good. It was the first time obviously we rode the bike yesterday. It took a little bit of setting up. We couldn't change the swing arm, so it's still got a drag swing arm on it, which doesn't help with doing a wheelie when it's 3 or 4 inches longer than standard. But the bike's plenty powerful enough, and that was the only problem we had with trying to stop wheel spin. So it took a few goes, let a bit of pressure out the back tyre. Got it to wheelie, and after a couple of goes, I was getting it up in 4th, and we ended up going through the time like at 207, doing a wheelie at 207. It wasn't obviously official, but as I say, that was it was good actually just getting that, because I didn't actually think it went that fast. It didn't feel that fast to me, but I was chuffed that it was 207. And then a little bit later on, we tried to turn the boost up, because it sort of like went off then, the bike. You know, we were trying to go back to again, and third, fourth, it's pulling my arms off, going up the straight, it's wheeling, putting in fifth, it feels like it's good. Come up to the timer light, open it up, and it was just dying off. So that's what you can hear now in the background. I think they're just trying to map all the ignition back in again. I've told them maybe to turn the power back down to see if that's going to help. And that's it. So hopefully, if we can get it running as good as we did yesterday on a 207-mile-an-hour run, I think we should easily do it.
After just a couple of hours, it was becoming clear that the strengthening wind was proving to be quite a problem, and speeds were down on the previous day by around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Still, the attempts continued, but even Terry Calcott was unable to improve on day one. Gary Rothwell on his turbo Hayabusa recorded a top speed of a staggering 214 miles an hour, but unfortunately he was unable to get the front wheel off the ground at the required time. Probably too busy hanging onto the bike. It's certainly not easy at speeds in excess of 200 miles an hour, as Dodge found out when he took it for a spin.
I tell you, it's like an extreme fairground ride, but at the twist of a throttle. It's mad. I knew it was 200 miles an hour because it was off the clock. The needle had disappeared, someone down into the top yoke. It's a life-changing experience, that is. You can't compare it with anything else. It makes this feel like a moped.
There's a rook that runs alongside the track. I kept it going because my back wheel was in it, and I thought, I'll just keep it going, I'll come out of it, and I didn't, and it come down in the rook. And it, about 300 metres, I was just going down the track.
What sort of speed are you doing?
140. There's all yellow paint on the front of my tyre. I thought I'd lost it. I honestly thought I was going off of the handlebars.
Scary moment then.
I loved it. It's cheered me all day off. I've had now.
Doing a sit-down wheelie there, popping about 120 over the kilometre. Just sat on the seat, just normally pulling it up, sat there, cruising. And I'm pulling, my best time was 102 mile an hour, standing on the rear pegs for an actual kilometre along. So coming through the timer like at 102 mile an hour is absolutely fantastic. Stood up. And they're not the lightest things in the world to do as a Hayabusa. They are like, 6.5 foot long and weighing the heaviest thing. But really good, yeah, enjoying it, yeah. A couple of tank wheelies and a couple of lads are doing the feet over the handlebars stuff. So for a kilometre, that's a long way to go when you're hanging in the air there. So pretty good, pretty good.
So after literally hundreds and hundreds of runs over 2 days without one single incident, it was Terry Calcott on his GSXR 1000 K5 who stood at the top of the tree as the new Guinness World Record holder with a very impressive speed of 156.5 miles an hour.
Very windy day. Just, been nice for it to have been a calmer day for everyone really. But as it is, record stands and ding dong.
I'd like to present 5 trophies to the 5 fastest riders over the 2 days. And if you could applaud them and give them a bit of a congratulations, please. Right, we'll start with 5th, which is Dom, the Phantom.
Well done. It's been a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Dom has achieved 148.2 miles an hour, so he's exceeded the previous world record by 8 miles an hour and beaten me by 0.2 miles an hour. So I don't get a trophy.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
All right, lovely, mate.
I'll try and get you back next year.
Certainly. Yeah. All right.
Right. 4th place is Steve Hooler. Hooler isn't here because he was on a 1-day entry yesterday, but you'll remember him because he's a gentleman with one arm strapped across the front. So Right then, the top three are Paul Vickers, 151.1. Well done. It's superb.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity, mate.
Fine. See you next year. Okay, number 2, Big Mick Tickle. Well done, mate. Polish that. Put it on the windowsill.
12 for next year.
Well done. And the man, the man who's been in a class of his own these last 2 days, 156.5, Terry Calcott. Really, really well done. We've had the okay off Elvington, we've all been well behaved, and this is going to be an annual thing, so I'll be in touch with all the competitors, because anyone who's been here this year can have first refusal on an entry on next year, and hopefully we'll make it bigger and better organised, because it's been a bit of a learning curve for me, because it's the first time I've ever done anything. But if we could all applaud everyone, because it's been an absolute success.
Round of applause for Tom.
Thank you.
Go on next year.